I'm Tim. Last year I decided I was going to see all 63 US national parks. I didn't film it, I didn't document it, I just went. This year it's different. This year when I turned 50, it became a project. And I'm not letting this change happen quietly. This is Biscayne, my third park overall, but the first one where I hit the record button. So the first thing you'll see when you kind of come to Biscayne National Park is not a whole lot of land. In fact, it's a 95% water. You're going to see a ton of mangrove trees that you see here in the background. Overall, it is one of the least traveled parks in the United States. About third in the US. And it's interesting because if you look right out here, kind of, we'll pause here. Right here on this point, you can barely see it. It was a pretty cloudy, kind of chilly day. Right out there, you can actually see Miami. So this park actually sits on a place called Convoy Point that kind of sticks out into Biscayne Bay. You're just south of Miami. On a nice clear day, you can definitely see the skyline. Not exactly the weather that we were dealing with that day, we'll say. But overall, it's a really cool little place to come, even in the off season like this, in winter. We were definitely trying to avoid some colder storms back home, so we decided let's go head somewhere a little warmer. The jetty walk actually is kind of goes around the visitor center a little bit. And walks you out on a boardwalk out into the bay, across the bay, and into this really cool like mangrove section that has that where people do a lot of fishing. So we'll go ahead and fast forward through this. So here's that boardwalk I was talking about. Taking a look here. Here we go. So here we go to the boardwalk itself, and a little seating area over here to the right, kind of sit down, chill out. But overall, a pretty pleasant walk. It's maybe 20 minutes out to the end of the jetty and back, and then you kind of come out near the visitor center again. Go ahead and go. Just a pretty standard jetty, nice calm walk, nice tree lines going around. Speed this up a little bit. Guys started to clear up a little about midway through the walk. Pretty nice little area to walk through. I'm trying to capture some of the scenery of the water and whatnot. Little beaches there on the side. I would bet that when it's a little warmer, you'd probably have more people out here, doing a little bit of fishing and everything. Right here. An interesting day, so typical Florida spotty weather. You get this nice beautiful sun kind of shining through all these clouds, even though it was only about 53 degrees, I think it was kind of chilly, but when that southern Florida sun beat down on you, it could definitely warm up pretty quick. So yeah, there is the jetty walk, about the only portion of the park that is on land other than the visitor center. Speaking of, so here's the visitor center. When you take a look, this is coming in back off of the boardwalk. When you come back in, you kind of hang a left, and then there's the marina there. The marina is a very important part of this park, considering that, like I said, it's 95% water. And the only way you're really going to see this place is if you charter a boat. We chartered the Heritage of Biscayne. Highly recommend. It was a great opportunity for us to get out there on that water and head out to Boca Chita Key, which is what you'll see in just a moment. But I wanted to pause here and take a look. And so here's your visitor center. You just have some bathrooms down here. The actual visitor center is kind of up here on the second level. Nice little place with some dioramas and everything. Down here in the bottom, they were actually demonstrating plankton on microscopes. My son got to enjoy that and see all that stuff. Little cool picture area here, and then over here is actually where you're going to jump in and go in and get your check-in for the boats that you have chartered. We'll go ahead and keep on going. So here's that jetty we were walking on. We'll just go ahead and fast forward through this. This is the no wake zone coming out of the marina, but that is the jetty that you saw us walk down a little bit ago. Captain Stephanie, she was awesome, giving us kind of the details of the bay itself. And you can tell it got cloudy and it got cold. We're all wearing our nice waterproof jackets. We'll go ahead and just speed on through this as we slow roll no wake out into the open water. It's about an hour or so on water, heading out into the bay itself. It's a pretty cool little ride. I bet it would have been amazing had the sun been out. But as far as, oh, here we go. So this is where you start to come in. So when you exit the marina, you're going to kind of head south a little bit and head down into the keys. They explain that, like, a lot of people think the first key is Key Largo, but it really isn't. There's several different keys before you even get to Key Largo. This is right outside of like Adams Key, and it kind of tails into Elliott Key, I believe it was. Yes. But as you can see, that water started to turn that magnificent green that you see in Google Maps. Really cool. Starting to get into that in that limestone base. The 4 feet is all this is on average across the entire water place. So I could basically walk across most of this bay. Maybe not in high tide, but for the most of the time of the day, they said that it's like 4 feet on average through here. So you see some cuts and some channels for boats to come through. Really cool place. We kind of come in through here. Several little keys that are sprouted up. We come in through this little cut here and start to kind of ride up the coastline of Elliott Key. It's one of the longest keys out there. Kind of takes you up towards the Boca Chita Key. A lot of water when you come out here to Biscayne. So here we are approaching Boca Chita. This is where you kind of come up north, up past Elliott Key, and we're going to start to veer right a little bit, pulling around into Boca Chita Key Marina in just a moment. You'll start to see the lighthouse kind of form right over here on the right hand side. That was really cool. Here we are turning in onto the lighthouse, and here we go. So here is Boca Chita Key. So pretty cool place. Apparently owned by the Honeywells for a while. This lighthouse is not functional, never was functional apparently. He decided that he wanted his friends in Miami to come visit him when he was partying. And the way he would do that, he thought, was, I'm just going to go ahead and light this lighthouse. Coast Guard had other plans. So they said, hey, you can't have this here. One, it's on the wrong side of an island, and you're just going to cause people to run into it. So no. And you didn't get all the right permissions. So even the 30s, 40s, and 50s, you had those, you had to be aware of these types of things. So he decided, well, wouldn't it be cooler just to get a cannon? Yeah, a cannon. And I'll just load up with some gunpowder and pop it off when I see my buddies come along on their boats. So, yeah. What a very interesting time to live in. A little pavilion area over there where they go and sit and eat. You can actually dock your boat in here. The whole park technically is free to kind of voyage around in. But anytime that you moor up and you get tied off, you are going to have a docking fee. I think it's like $25, $30, something like that. And you can actually camp either on the key itself or Elliott Key. Or you can stay on your boat. But even if you stay on your boat, you're supposed to pay the camping fee. So that all goes to supporting all of these parks. So highly recommend that you do the right thing. So right here, this is the Boca Chita walking trail. It's about a 25-minute trail that kind of goes around the outside edge past that marina. So when you pulled onto the marina there, the lighthouse, you kind of go around towards that pavilion was that I pointed out, and then you kind of head out that way. My wife, son, and I decided to let's go do it. Interestingly enough, we're the only ones to kind of head that way, and it was definitely worth it. You can see it was very windy. Trees are moving pretty good, but it was a cool, nice, quiet walk. Come up on this little bridge area up here. We went ahead and marched on along. Nice sandy. It's an interesting. It's like ground up limestone. Kind of describes Florida in a nutshell with that. But yeah. Cool little walk through the woods, just kind of circles around. A couple of little beaches you'll see here in just a moment where we kind of stop off and take a look at everything. Let's see, I think one of those is coming up here real soon. There's the bay out there. Yeah, here's one of the beaches coming up. So just kind of, stuck the camera out there and got a good look at it. Now look at that water. That's that limestone sand, and then it kind of just goes out into that shelf, and it's a really cool place. Nice clear water. Keep moving. So it keeps going on for a little bit. Here's another little more sand, a little easier to get out into. Dip my toe in there. It was a little chilly, but yeah, there goes a speedboat, waving as everybody goes by. It's kind of that beach life, for lack of a better terms, all around here. That island life, everybody's waving at everybody, saying hi, excited about everything. Even when it's a little cold, a little cloudy, still gotta love Southern Florida, right? So walking on through, can't really get out into the island itself, out near the trees. Stay on the paths. You know how it is. That's anytime you're in a national park, you want to respect the boundaries and respect the wildlife. Probably a little too cold to have seen any wildlife today. A few birds here and there. We didn't see too much going on, but a lot of little holes there for some of the sand crabs that make home here on the island. I think it was blue crabs. I have to look it up again, but it was definitely some kind of crab that they mentioned out there, and tons of little holes. They come out at night and do all their hunting. We'll speed this up as we walk through Boca Chita Trail a little longer. Right, not to bonk our heads. Okay, so as we come out of the trail, I'm gonna pause right here. So it exits out onto this kind of open field area, and this building here is an old garage. So the Honeywells and all their buddies thought it would be cool to bring all of their cars with them, so they would have a boat ship, bring their cars to the island when they would come hang out for the weekends or the weeks or however long they would be out here. And this was their garage. They'd put all of the vehicles in there, and I guess somehow drive around on this little 1 mile island. So, like I said, interesting folks. When you got money, you kind of do what you want when you want. So, but overall, it was a really cool little place. Yep, you can see the garage bays there. And kind of over here is Boca Chita Beach, the official beach. And that is going to just be a little seashell island, a bunch of tiny little crushed up seashells. We end up heading over there in just a moment. Ubiquitous bathroom and rest area. There's that beach. So that is some picturesque Florida. If this were a little more sunny, it tried to help. It tried to give us me a nice little cinematic shot. But overall, it's Florida. It's that wonderful aquamarine colored water out there, and yeah, it was really nice. So here we are walking off the beach past that rest area. If you look back here in the corner, there's a little chapel. I guess if you're out partying and whatnot, you might need to go talk to your superior afterwards at times. Little picnic area. You can sit down and rest and enjoy the island. Like I said, you can see that wind was just coming in like crazy. It was a little sea spray, a little cold, but still well worth the trip. So where we're headed now, we're going to go past that chapel over here on that left. There it is. And then we're going to kind of come along this seawall here. And just kind of walk along it, and that heads towards... Yeah, look how clear that water is. Pretty awesome. Like I said, 4 feet deep on average across the entire bay. So walked along the seawall here, all the way wrapping around to the lighthouse, kind of finishing up the island itself. There it is, Boca Chita Lighthouse. That was Boca Chita Island and Biscayne National Park. Really awesome place. A lot of people were asking, why this park? Why Southern Florida? So the truth is we were all planned out to head to New Mexico, Carlsbad, White Sands, get up there and do Guadalupe Mountain National Park as well. And a little winter storm known as Fern decided to change some plans. I started getting alerts about 3 days before heading out. And I did not feel like hiking in Guadalupe or White Sands in freezing rain. So instead of canceling, it was time to pivot. I'm going to see all 63 of these national parks, sorry. And that's the thing is sometimes you got to know when to change plans as well. So really quickly, admittedly unlike me, I'm much more of a hardcore planner. Within about 48 hours, kind of changed plans, booked a couple of flights, boom, headed down into Miami. And the plan was to see Dry Tortuga as well, but that was not going to happen. Everything was either booked or just maybe not available. So we did decide to do Biscayne first, and then you'll see we did 4 days in Everglades National Park as well. Would I go back? 100%, absolutely. Wonderful place, even in the winter when it was a little chilly. This was that time period in Florida, you may have seen it on the news, where the iguanas were deciding, well, not deciding, they had no choice in the matter. They were falling out of trees because it got so cold. It got down to 32 one day. So that was pretty chilly. Now, granted, back home in the Dallas area, it was like 18. And back at my original home in St. Louis area, below 0 during this week. So I'll take 50 all day long. But yeah, we will definitely be back. The cool thing is outside past the keys that you saw us go on there at Boca Chita, there's a set of barrier islands out there, a bunch of shipwrecks from the 1800s, some stilt houses from thousands of years ago, and I plan on getting back out there, grabbing the snorkeling gear, chartering a boat, and getting out there and seeing those shipwrecks. But yeah, that was Biscayne Island. Thank you for coming, and remember, a delta is change, so the delta continues.